Good morning. April Fool's Day delayed, maybe not. Uh, Different R&R, Reciprocal and Retaliation Day, I think, is more likely. But let's have a look. Harvey from Produce Profit. Trump to impose sweeping tariffs, escalating global trade tensions. I think this has pretty well been in the news for way too long, but let's get into it. We'll probably talk about it for quite a few more days yet, as the retaliatory tariffs are probably going to take some time for it to actually get completely put into the market. And then there's the negotiation after. uh, Oil and Biofuel Coalition to seek biomass diesel boost in the EPA meeting. What is key here, if you have a look at it, is what the uh, requirement will be for increase in gallons. Um, I was trying to look for this article. I had seen that they were overproducing way over this EPA anyway. They're producing close to this as well at the current time, close to these billions of gallons anyway. But what was significant is that Trump basically told the oil refiners to sit down with uh, the uh, the producers of this biofuel biomass and come up with some sort of agreement. And it looks like something is coming forth to at least have a put it forth to the EPA so that they can actually talk about it. This article was kind of interesting, and the reason it's interesting, it just has the numbers of different kind of commodities that are traded. And again, there's a lot at risk if they're going to put, let's say, corn at risk, or soybeans, or wheat, or beef, or pork. It just kind of highlights who is the buyer. And it does say here, like highlighted in yellow, uh, China, Canada, Mexico would hurt the wow, 1 point or 191 billion U.S. agriculture export market, and there's still purchases that the U.S. actually buys of 91 million. So there's a big deficit there as well. Trump tariffs loom. White House eyes costly farmer bailouts, because there's been talk that he's going to have money to aid the farmers, and this just talks about how complicated this is as well. The cost of putting aid into the farmers' hands. It, it's it's probably going to be needed, as it's his base as well. So this kind of just highlights, in this from Susan Stroud, just the money that's been direct payments to farmers out there in billions of dollars. So we're looking at below precipitation in this area, and looks like it's going to maybe get a little bit better for the east. And then on the monthly outlook, it looks like it's still going to be below, in some of these regions, and that could be impacting some of those crops, those early seeded crops for sure, because they are getting going in some of those areas. Canola down a little bit, and rapeseed is just slightly up. Soybean oil is taking a little bit of a break, and we'll see that in the charts. They've had a fantastic run. Palm oil actually gapped higher as well, so it's just another thing to keep your eye on here. Crude oil, uh, that's close to that $71 a barrel, and the wheats are on both sides here. The spring wheat is slightly down, but the red winter is slightly up. So it's they're red and green on the screen there. Soybeans are down, and corn is down as well. So when you have a look at it, here's your canola. It's basically filling this gap here, for sure. So when you get this gap to get filled, it's starting to fill the gap. You can see it here on the July as well. So we're partly in this gap and filling it. And the significance is, if there's orders in there, it has to fill the whole gap to say that you filled it. You can't just enter into it. So there's a good chance that we're going to get back there for sure. Even though we got a little bit of a pause, there's nervousness with this trade coming out, with the retaliation and the reciprocal tariffs that are getting put on, and it's getting put on after hours as well. Like I think it's 2 o'clock in the Rose Garden. He's going to be going through the list, and of course the markets are closed on the egg side anyway at that time. So um, here, new crop is just entered into the gap as well. It still has to go a little bit higher to make sure that those any open orders that are sitting there that couldn't get filled are getting filled now. European rapeseed is $188, uh, more expensive than Canadian canola. Um, and you can see that they've had some pretty big candle trading days there. filled the gap a long time ago, of course, but um, it's still pretty good, remarkable recovery on the rapeseed. Soybean oil, just have a look at those candles. Like, wow, it's really, it almost got back to the full retracement value that we were trading at just back in February. Susan Stroud, just, the oil share that makes up the crush margin and or the futures, and it's significant enough, that's for sure. Um, just a quick note that they are now tracking renewable diesel fuel exports. Amazingly, uh, when you have this kind of production and no mandates within your own country, you're going to start exporting this product, and it looks like it's getting exported. 163 billion barrels or 1,000 barrels were exported, and it's tracked, and there was none, but now in January there is some. Palm oil, you can see that gap higher. It's still not made a new high yet, but it's getting darn close here again. So good news to support canola, of course, as well. Or is that the follower? Who knows? But um, here's your crude. It's actually had a West Texas. It's actually had a pretty good recovery, but um, that's not what Trump wants right now. Increasing cost at the pumps as well, and that's the whole problem with the meeting of the refiners and the producers as well of the biodiesel. The fear is that it's going to increase the cost of fuel at the pump, and it very likely will to a certain degree. But if it's mandated, it'll get consumed anyway. You can see here the soybeans, pretty long decrease here, trying to break through this little bit of a channel that's there and running up against the short term or the 50-day moving average there. Soybean meal. It. I haven't seen anybody tracking the exports on this, but this is going to have to. This is probably going to have increase in exports, not just the soy oil exports. We're gonna have U.S. exporting a fair bit of meal, and at this price, it can substitute the canola meal that's not going to China if China is buying this. I can't see why they wouldn't be. It's getting quite reasonable in price. It's below 290 a short ton. Canadian dollar still trading in this range. It's a nothing sandwich. So look at wheat. Uh, it's recovered a little bit off of its second wave or second bottom that it's made. It's up against some of these moving averages here now. New crop, and here's your red winter, the same kind of recovery that we saw in the um, spring wheat. And here is your Chicago. It made a lower low than the previous low, so if that's the leader, which it usually isn't, but it's looking to recover and get towards moving towards some of those moving averages as well. Building wheat in France, pretty low here. Corn, um, still probably in this wedge here now, and it's up against some of these moving averages and some retracement values just in the short term, and yeah, 23.6 retracement value. I keep so here's your cattle is on this side here. Live cattle is the blue, and gold. Um, Looks like they're trading pretty similarly. That's all I have for you today.